I have a feeling we can get through the last batch of Pokemon this episode. So, hey guys, my name is Notch, and welcome back to Pokemon SoulSilver. Last time, we went over more Pokemon, yada yada yada. We're back for what is this, the fourth episode of going over Pokemon? But this time, it's Safari Zone Pokemon, yes. So, for Hoenn and Sinnoh Pokemon, with the use of objects here in the Johto Safari Zone, you can get really unique Pokemon. So, I'm going to go over the Pokemon that can be found in the different areas. So, starting off with the peak area, and that is Vigoroth. Vigoroth is actually a surprisingly decent Pokemon. It is honestly pretty decently fast and pretty strong to boot as well. It is in the line, however, where its abilities hinder the Pokemon so much. It's not the case for Vigoroth, though. It doesn't have that unique ability of Truant, where it just completely nerfs it to a T. I think it has, actually, what does it have? I'm drawing a blank on Vigoroth. I think Vital Spirits? I could be mistaken. But, yeah, when fully evolved into Slacking, holy shit, this thing is strong. It's got legendary stats. This thing is bulky, fast, and can hit hard. The really major downside with Slacking is that its ability Truant makes it move every other turn. So it moves once, waits for a second turn, then moves again. Yeah, huge gimmick. Huge gimmick with that Pokemon. Next one is actually my personal favorite from Gen 3, and that is Lairon. Lairon is a really good defensive wall, and it's actually pretty strong in the physical side. Downside, this thing is really slow, and it's got multiple weaknesses. Steel's Rock may be a good typing defensively, but it gets hindered by a lot of typings. When fully evolved into Aggron, it becomes a really, really strong Pokemon with a base stat total of 530, I'm pretty sure. Just the downside when getting these Pokemon, leveling them up, it does take a long time for them to evolve. Actually, in one of the areas here in the Johto Safari Zone, you will find its base form, Aron. And, Aron into Lairon is up until level 30. Yeah, and this thing is incredibly weak. But we're not going to go on over Aron for a moment, because that's in a different area. But if you do manage to get it, and somehow you wanted to make this, your post-game, Pokemon team, sure, go for it. It's pretty good. Next one is Zangoose. Zangoose, we all know the rivalry between it and Seviper. Nothing really too big with Zangoose. I guess it is just pretty decent. I think it is pretty fast. Other than that, it doesn't really do much. There's no evolution. Its stats are just there. I think it's just mainly there for Dex fill. Well, a lot of Pokemon here in the Johto Safari Zone are. But anyway, moving on is the final Pokemon for the peak, and that is Spheal. Spheal! It's so cute. I love this thing. It is surprisingly bulky, and it gets really bulky when fully evolved into Walrein. Water Ice is a pretty good typing. I think it mainly excels at being a special attacker, or a special wall at that. But I do know it's got amazing bulk to it when fully evolved. It evolves into Celio, and I'm pretty sure that's also here in the Johto Safari Zone. Yes, it is. I see it in my notes. So we'll get to Celio in a little bit, but we'll cover Walrein. Walrein! Fuck, this thing is bulky. It tanks hits quite well and dish out hits surprisingly well as well. So, if you just want yourself a really bulky water type and passed up on many options like Lantern and Lapras, Spheal's actually pretty good. Next one is the desert area, and that is going to go to Lotad. Lotad is got a surprisingly good typing of Water Grass. Something that's not really been done at all lately. I think it's only unique to the Lotad line. Lotad is just mainly there to set up Rain with Rain Dance with actually just a lot of water types do, but I mainly use Ludicolo to set up Rain if I don't choose Pelipper. I think from what I remember, it is a mixed attacker when fully evolved into Ludicolo. It's just if you want to get Lotad into Lombre into Ludicolo, you gotta level up Lotad and Lombre and use a Water Stone for Ludicolo. Lombre is found here at another area, so we'll go over that when we get there. So we'll just leave it for now. Next one is Trapinch. Trapinch got surprisingly high physical attack for what it is. It's a pure ground type, but when evolved into Vibrava, it becomes a part dragon typing. It is really strong on the physical side, and honestly, from a glance, you would think this thing would be a pseudo-legendary, but it's not. Trapinch and also Vibrava is actually here in the same area as well in the desert, where it's pretty strong and it's pretty decently fast, but pretty frail to boot. Especially since it gets a quad weakness to ice now due to its dragon typing. But if you do manage to get it and get it up to Flygon, it's pretty good. It's got Levitate for its ability. It's just incredibly strong. There's nothing really else to say about it. So we're gonna move on to Cacnea. Cacnea, honestly, is really weird. I think this thing is a... Ooh, Arbok. I think this is a physical attacker. Oh, wait, no, I remember. No, I remember watching a video about this. Cacnea and, to an extent, Cacturne, which is also found here, is a mixed attacker. Honestly, why is it a mixed attacker when both of its typings, Grass and Dark, are both special? So it kind of gets hindered with that, but at the same time, it really doesn't. Well, this is for, like, Gen 3, but this is, like, Gen 4 anyway, so why am I talking about, like, Gen 3? So, it depends on what playstyle you want to use it with. Both options are really good. And finally is Hippopotas. Hippopotas is pretty weak, to start off the very least. When fully evolved into Hippowdon, oh boy, this thing is strong. It becomes a really good physical attacker, and it gets a good ability being Sandstream. It sets up sandstorms when entering battle, so boosting ground type moves and giving a little bit of the special defense boost to rock types as well. That is if you have a team that is solely based around sandstorms. I myself have done this in Diamond with a team comprising of Empoleon, Rampados, and Hippowdon. Both steel, rock, and ground types. Is this good? I don't know. It was experimental. But if you do want yourself a good weather summoner and you can't be bothered using like Sunny Day, Rain Dance, and all that, Hippowdon is really good. And next one is the lowest one on this list, and with the plains having 2 encounters. And the first one for the plains biome is Surskit. Surskit is actually decent, to say the very least. It is a bug type, of course, so it is incredibly weak, but it is better than most bug types in Gen 3. Bug Water is actually surprisingly good, but it loses its typing in exchange for flying, so it becomes a bug flying type when fully evolved in a Masquerain. And also Masquerain can be found in a different biome, so we'll go over Masquerain when we get there. I've always had the question of if Misty were in fact to encounter a Surskit, would she like it or hate it? Because she loves bug types, she hates bug types, but loves water types. Surskit is both. And also going on with like Wimpod, Glossiopod, what else is there? Dupida, Araquanid, like a lot of bug water types out there. But, yeah, this thing is just pretty weak, pretty frail, but it is better than most bug types in Gen 3, for, like, early game. Next one is Manectric. Manectric is a fast special attacker, and that's all there is to it. Like, it's just like it's just like most not grass types, electric types out there, where it's fast, got good special attack, and main ability is static. Nothing to really rave about it. Yeah, you can find Electrike in a different area, so again, we'll get there when we get there. But going on with Manectric, it's fast, it's got good special attack, and just got decent everything else. Not really too big to go on about it, but it's just mainly there. Next one is the Meadow area, and this one is Nuzleaf. Nuzleaf is a pretty decent physical attacker. It gains the dark typing, and it's kind of weird to look at. Why does this thing have nipples? I will never know. It does require a Leaf Stone to fully evolve it into Shiftry, which becomes a pretty decently fast physical attacker. Just, if you were to play Gen 3, just the downside with that is that Grass and Dark used to be special, and Shiftry is mainly there to be a physical attacker. So, you're not going to get most of the help from it. Nothing really else to say about those two. So, next one is Masquerain. Masquerain is decently fast, but at the same time, it's also pretty frail. Bug Flying, not a good typing. Most bug types before, like, Gen 5, excluding some, like, a handful of them, do suck. And, ooh, Sand Slash. Honestly, I think it still should have been Bug Water. Like, given, like, the ability to levitate or something. That could have been really fun. But no, this thing is just really bad. Next one is Nosepass. Nosepass is a pretty good solid wall. Its stats are nothing to brag about because it is just just weak in general. And if you do get Nosepass somehow in this game, you're gonna have it a Nosepass until you switch it over to a different game. That is because, just like Magneton, it requires an electrical field to evolve. For some fucking reason, the power plant does not exist in their minds. So if you want Probopass, you're gonna have to trade it over to Diamond Pearl Platinum. Yeah, no. Just like Magneton, this thing got hindered. And it needed the evolution. Like, this thing sucks. When fully evolved into Probopass, oh boy, this thing is defensive. Really good, but hindered by weird game mechanic. Yeah, no, I don't know what they were thinking. The power plant is right there in the post game. Sure, you can't go in it and encounter Pokemon, but outside! Fuck! Anyway, moving on to the final Pokemon of the Meadow Zone, and that is Riolu. Riolu is the baby Pokemon introduced in Gen 4. It is incredibly weak, but with the use of High Friendship and to evolve it, holy shit, this thing becomes a really good Pokemon. It becomes a part Steel type with its Fighting type as well, so it becomes a Fighting Steel type, and that being Lucario. Lucario is a fantastic mixed attacker. It's fast, and whatever playstyle you want to use it with, this thing is good. There's not been a time where I haven't seen, like, anyone, go say anything bad about Lucario. I think at this point, I really just don't care about it, because I want to use other Pokemon. I don't want to keep relying on Lucario. But if you do, it's pretty good. Next one is the Forest area, and this is home to Shuppet. Shuppet is a pretty frail Pokemon. It's not really that good, considering most base forms are not good because you need to evolve them. But anyway, it evolves, I think, at like level 32, I think? That sounds right, I don't really know. Why do I keep throwing bait? I want to run. When fully evolved into Bayonet, it becomes a pretty good physical attacker. And actually, that is... Oh, was that Dusclops? Or is Dusclops the physical attack? I don't know. From what I remember, I mean, both Pokemon are relatively the same. If I'm wrong, the stats are there off screen anyway, but from what I remember, Bayonet is a fantastic physical attacker, which actually works well because in the old days of Gen 3, Ghost used to be physical, surprisingly, but this is Gen 4. Yeah, so if you want yourself a really good physical attacker, but it's on the frail side as well, it's just depending on if you want to use it or not, it's right there. Next one is the pseudo-legendary for Gen 3, and that is Beldum. Beldum is incredibly weak to start off. Just like a lot of pseudo-legendaries, this thing is going to take a long time to fully evolve, but the payoff is really good. It's a Steel Psychic typing, a pretty good typing as well, and from what I remember, it's mainly a special attacker, and it's decently fast. When fully evolved into Metagross, from Beldum into Metang into Metagross, holy shit, this thing is a monster. You can find Metang in a different area, so we'll go over Metang later, but we're gonna go over Metagross. Metagross, holy shit, this thing is amazing. It's got the ability Clear Body, so it prevents its stats from being lowered. Kind of busted on this thing because it's got a base stat of 600. Other than that, if you do manage to get it up to Metagross, it is just entirely strong because pseudo-legendary. I ran out of Safari Balls. Next one is Bronzong. Bronzong! We've already gone over Bronzor, so we'll go over Bronzong. I mean, I kind of already did, but just for the sake of this, I'll do it again. Bronzong is a fantastic wall on the both physical and special side. It's pretty good because it's got two good abilities of Levitate and Heat Proof. Whatever one you want to go with, it's pretty good, but the one you probably want to lean on the most is Levitate, because it gets an immunity in exchange just for nothing. Like, it's just pretty good. Heat Proof just reduces the fire type attacks it takes. Nothing else to be said, it's just good at being a wall. Next one is the Swamp area, and this is home to Duskull. Duskull is weak, but it mainly excels at being a physical attacker. When evolved into Dusclops, it is... Whoo boy! This thing is strong. This thing has got a high physical attack, but frail everything else. I think it's also got high special defense from what I remember. So therefore, if you pair this thing with the Eviolite, this thing can tank hits pretty well. It got an evolution being Dusknoir in Gen 4, and you're going to need a Reaper Cloth and to trade over just to get it into Dusknoir. So that is pretty good. Have I gone over Dusknoir? I don't think I have, because you don't really get Duskull in this game, so let's go over Dusknoir for the meantime. It is incredibly strong, incredibly defensive, and just entirely good. Nothing really else to say about that, to be honest. So, moving on to Chimecho. This thing is weak. If you're playing Gen 3, don't use this thing. This thing sucks entirely. Those stats are not good, and I don't know why it got a baby form in Gen 4. It needed an evolution, and it didn't get one. So, just do yourself a favor, don't pick it up. Next one is the other pseudo-legendary for Gen 3. Yeah, there were two of them. And this one is Bagon, or Bagon. I like to say Bagon because that is just how I like to pronounce it, but Bagon. Actually, now I think about it, it might be Bagon. So I'll just say Bagon. Bagon is incredibly, well, just like most, it's weak. When evolved into Shieldon, and also you will find Shilgon in a later area, it becomes a pretty defensive wall, and then when fully evolved into Salamence, it gains the flying typing, and it just gets incredibly busted stats for being a pseudo-legendary. Just downside, long time to make them evolve. If this was Unova, holy shit, the levels in that game are so bad. I have no idea why they thought it was a good idea. But, yeah. We'll go with the Salamence because you can get Shilgon in a later area. So, Salamence! Pretty fast, pretty strong on the physical side, and just entirely good. Base that total of 600. Intimidate is a really good ability, and it's just always a must for a team if you want yourself a good, strong Pokemon. Next one is the world champion itself, Pachirisu. Pachirisu, it mainly excels at being a special wall. That's it. This thing is incredibly weak, but somehow somehow this thing became world champion. That's honestly all I can say about Pachirisu. It mainly excels at being a special wall, and that's really about it. Next one is Floatzel. Floatzel is a fast physical attacker. Really fast if you pair it with Swift Swim, its ability, and you get a Pokemon that outspeeds most things and can hit hard. Again, learns a lot of priority moves, like Aqua Jet, and I think even Sucker Punch as well. So it's just an entirely good Pokemon. Next one is the Marshland area. Don't worry, after the Marshland, there's 5 areas left. The Marshland is home to Roselia. Roselia is a pretty decent special attacker. Nothing really else to say about it. I mean, Poison Point is good. With a physical contact, it may poison the foe. It got an evolution of Roserade in Gen 4 and a baby form of Bedouin also in the same generation. It requires a Shiny Stone to fully evolve it into Roserade, which you can actually pick up in National Park with the use of Rock Climb. So if you pick up Roselia, you can get it instantly if you didn't go for that Shiny Stone beforehand. But also with the Shiny Stone, that is also the evolutionary item to evolve Togetic into Togekiss. That's really about it. Next one is Seviper. Seviper is pretty decent. Like, there's nothing really else to say about, like, Seviper. I think it is good on the physical side. It's got decent stats, but not really good for long term. Its rivalry with Zangoose is probably the most known about it. So there you go. Next one is Barboach. Barboach is a pretty decent Pokemon. It is a water ground type, which is actually a pretty good typing, only having one weakness, which is ground. And it evolves into Whiscash, which is really weird because why do you find Whiscash as a swarm, but Barboach in the... I don't know. I don't understand. But if you passed up on Whiscash in those swarm encounters, Barboach is here in the marshland. I think it's a physical attacker, from what I remember, but it's not really that good. Like, Gen 3 has got a whole bunch of water types as a selection, so there are better water types out there, but if you like it, pick it up. Next one is... Fuck, I wrote this down. It's Bayonet. Quickly just gonna go over Bayonet here. It's frail, but it's strong, and that's really about it. God, I really need to brush up on my Gen 3 knowledge. Next one is Krogunk. Krogunk is a really unique Pokemon, being a poison fighting type. Pair this thing with a psychic type, and holy shit, it's gonna get decimated. It's got a really, really sucky ability of Dry Skin, where, yes, it's got an immunity to water, and it gets its health back, but it does get the, at the worst cost at becoming acceptable to Fire-type moves. Yeah, not really that good, and also Anticipation, where it just, it knows it has a, it knows if the foe has a physical, not a physical, special effect, super effective move! But, other than that, Croagunk is still a pretty good choice. It is a physical attacker. Toxicroak is pretty fun to play with. I do like it, because I like it. I like frogs. Frogs are pretty cool. Nothing really else to say about Croagunk. I mean, Brock's Croagunk in the anime was a real badass. Real cock-blocking badass, but anyway. That's mainly about it for Croagunk. Next one is the mountain area, and this is home to Volbeat. Volbeat! Why the fuck is this thing not an electric type? I will never understand. It's a pure bug type, and it's got poor stats across the board, and surprisingly it has its own signature move. I think it's called Tail Glow? I cannot remember, but it's mainly there just to fill in the decks. Like, this thing just sucks. And also its counterpart, which can be found in a different area. So, we're not going to go over that one, because you can't find it in the mountain. So, we're going to move on. Next one is Lunatone. Lunatone is a pretty good wall. Its counterpart, Solrock, is just, you mainly want to pair those two together, because one is good as a defensive wall, and the other one is good at attacking. Lunatone is the defensive of the two. Rock... Ooh, did not mean to throw that, but sure. I'll have another Weezing if you like to catch. Rock Psychic is a pretty decent typing. I think it has Levitate for its ability, meaning it gets rid of its weakness of ground for Rock. So, that's pretty good. Other than that, nothing really else to rave about it. Solrock can be found in a different area, so we're not going to go over that quite yet. So, moving on. Moving on to Dusclops. Dusclops, like I said, is a fantastic physical attacker, pretty bulky wall, so that's mainly about it. Celio can also be found here, so it is the middle stage of Sphere and wall range, so it's got that bulk to it, it's got good special attack, and it's just entirely good. Whoa! Hi! I want to try and catch you. Next one is Matang. Matang is the in-between of Beldum and Metagross, where it's pretty good, just not that good. Still, of course, still Psychic, pretty good typing, it's got decent stats, and just good. You know what, I want you to stay here, I want to try and catch you. Next one is the Rocky Beach area, and this is home to Aeron. Aeron is my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon. I love this thing. It's cute, and it's just entirely good as a defensive wall. Just a downside, it's mainly going to be really bad long-term, because it does evolve late at level 30, and by the time it would be like, if you were playing Gen 3, it would be like either the 5th or 4th or maybe even 5th gym. Or 6th, possibly. But, actually mainly 5th. Mainly 5th gym. So, yeah. But if you do manage to get it into Aggron, the payoff is really good for a strong physical wall. Next one is Electrike. Damn it! Well, at least I know you're here. Electrike is decently fast, decently strong on the special attacking side, and frail everywhere else. Static for its ability, so I guess that's a plus, I think. Why get this thing when you can get Manectric in, like, the plains? I don't know. Moving on with the use of a Super Rod, and that is Corphish. Corphish is a really good physical water type. When fully evolved, it becomes a part dark typing with Crawdon. Really good physical attacker, from what I remember. I think it's got incredibly low stats for, like, HP and defense. I could be mistaken, but with Crawdon, I know it's a really good physical attacker. Gen 3 has just got a lot of water types, so it's a pretty good option if you want it. but why are we talking about Gen 3? Because this is Gen 4. Moving on to the pseudo-legendary of Gen 4, and that is Gibble. Gibble is a really weak Pokemon, but of course, again, like most pseudo-legendaries, it is pretty good at, like in the long term. It's got really decent speed to it, and it's got strong physical defense when fully evolved in the Garchomp. Gabites, however, is just the sort of in-between for it. It's got the ability Sand Veil, so it boosts evasion, like, in Sandstorm. So meaning, this thing could evade hits and can deal hits. So, if you want yourself a really strong Dragon Ground type, and passed up on Flygon, Garchomp, the way to go. Next one is the Wasteland area, and this is home to Breloom. Breloom is a very strong grass type. It becomes a part fighting type as well. It's got amazing physical defense, attack, but poor everything else. This thing is mainly used as a means to catch Pokemon due to its moves, Spore. And I think it has a Spec Spore as its ability as well. And it can also learn False Swipe. So, use Spore, use False Swipe, and you got yourself a pretty good Pokemon for catching Pokemon. Next one is Medicham. Medicham is a decent mixed attacker. There are better options for fighting types out there, and it's just it's usable, but at the same time, it gets hindered a lot. It's got a really unique typing of fighting Psychic, so that... Ah! Another chance. Cool. So, it's there if you want it. Next one is the counterpart to Volbeat, and that's Illumise, or Illumise, or however you want to pronounce it. I like to say Illumise. Illumise is not as good. Yeah, both these things suck. Bug is just an incredibly weak typing by itself. It should have been Bug Electric, in my opinion. And it's just mainly there for Dex filler. And, fuck. So, it's there if you want to pick it up for the Dex, but for like a party member, don't use it. Next one is the counterpart to Lunatone, and that is Solrock. Solrock is the attacking of the two, where it's pretty good. That's mainly about it. I think it also has Levitate for its ability, just like Lunatone, so therefore it nullifies a weakness. And that's all I could really say about those two. Next one is Skorupi. Skorupi is a bug poison type. It's a pretty frail one at that, but when fully evolved into Drapion, it loses its bug typing in exchange for Dark. So therefore, it only has one weakness, Ground. And it got an immunity to Psychic. When fully evolved into Drapion, it becomes a really good physical attacker. And that's all I could say about it. I mean, Sniper is a really good ability, where it boosts the critical hit ratio, I'm pretty sure. I know it's got something to do with critical hits. So if you want it, Skorupi is there in the Wasteland, and that's all I could say about it. Next one is the Savannah biome, and the Savannah biome is home to 3 new Pokemon. One of them is Azurill. Azurill is the baby Pokemon introduced in Gen 3 for the Azumarill line. It's not a water typing, it's a normal type Pokemon. So it gains the water typing in exchange for its normal typing. This thing is incredibly weak because it is a baby Pokemon, and it does require friendship to fully evolve it into Marill, and then level 20 into Azumarill. Fun fact about Azurill is that its gender split ratio is, I'm pretty sure from what I remember and read, it's 75% female and 25% male. And then you look at Marill's, and it's 50-50. So therefore, most female Azurills grow a dick. I am not kidding. That is just entirely weird to think about. You know what? Let's do some fishing. Next one is Torkoal. Torkoal is a pretty good defensive wall. Mixed in with its ability, I think it's Drought. I know Drought is, Groudons, but I think, what's his face? Torkoal can also have it, so therefore it's a pretty good Sun Summoner. That is if you have a team structured around weather. It's pretty good as a physical wall, it's pretty slow to boot, and it's just mainly there to summon the soul. Oh my god, hello Gyarados! That's all I could really say about that. Next one is Luxio. Luxio is a decently fast physical attacker. Intimidate's a good ability, electric types, pretty good, learns a lot of dark type moves, oh fuck. And that's really about it. We'll go over Luxray as well. Luxray is a fantastic physical attacker. Pretty fast to boot. And damn it! And that's all I could really say about Luxio and Luxray. And finally is the last area, and that is the Wetland. The Wetland is home to 3 new Pokemon. Why did I write Pachirisu 2 times? Well, anyway, 2 new Pokemon then! The first one is Lombre. Lombre is like the weird in-between of Lotad and Ludicolo, where it's just decent at best. Again, I like to use Lombre as a range summoner. So pair that with its ability Swift Swim. I think it has Swift Swim. And it's pretty decently fast. I think what I remember, like before, is like a mixed attacker, but I think it mainly excels at being a special attacker. So it's whatever playstyle you want to use it. But damn it, I wanted a Poliwhirl. And the final Pokemon is Shilgon. Shilgon is a pretty defensive Pokemon. When fully evolved, again into Salamence, it is entirely good. Just again, level curves for it. Kind of, I reeled in too quickly. So yeah, that's mainly about it. But we are not done with Pokemon to go over. There are still 6 Pokemon to go over, and that is the evolutions for the Hoenn starters that you get from Steven. So if you chose Torchic, you would get Combusken. Combusken is a pretty decent mixed attacker. That's really all I could say about it. It is a pretty good mixed attacker. When fully evolved into Blaziken, oh boy, this thing can hit like a truck. If you manage to get its hidden ability, you got yourself a really fast Pokemon due to its ability, Speed Boost. Speed Boost always increases its speed at the end of every turn. Therefore, if it's a long drawn-out battle, nothing is going to outspeed Blaziken. But Blaziken is a really good mixed attacker. Next one is Grovyle, for those who chose Trico. Grovyle is a really fast special attacker. It's got frail everything else, so it's mainly there to get in and try to get out and hope the very least it doesn't die the most hits. When fully evolved in the Sceptile, this thing gets even faster and even stronger. That's all I can say, because it's just mainly there to be a fast special attacker. And now, we're moving on to the final 2 Pokemon, Marshtomp and Swampert. So let's go over Marshtomp. For those who chose Mudkip, you'd get Marshtomp. Marshtomp is a pretty bulky physical attacker. That's all I could really say about it until when it fully evolves into Swampert, then this thing gets really good. It's got incredible bulk to it and got high physical attack as well. And I think it's also got good special attack from what I remember, but it is decently slow as well, so you gotta keep that in mind. And that's about it for all the Pokemon now. Holy crap, there were so many to go over. Whew, boy, I am not gonna have a fun time editing all those 4 episodes. But, it's all done. We could head over, you know what, just to do some more stuff. I might as well just head back to National Park, because I really just want to show this off. No! Oh my god, that was a lot to go over. Also, just keep this in mind with all those Pokemon that I've gone over, except for like the Hoenn starters. You're gonna need certain objects and like Janine. How you doing? Can I talk about my dad? I don't know if you want to hear it. Seriously, I'm like, okay, who cares? And requires certain times as well, just to get those Pokemon alone. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Oh boy, that is a lot to go over. And there's gonna be even more in the future. Yay! I love this franchise! Alright, do I have little Ted with me before we end things off? I do. Okay, so pairing this with Rock Climb, if you make your way over to the top right of National Park, there will be a climbable wall for you. Oh, that's right, today is Thursday, which is the bug catching contest. Also, with the bug catching contest, once you obtain the National Dex, more Pokemon can be found here from different areas. So Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh Pokemon of bug types can be found. So this area, Rock Climb, all the way up here, this is where you find the Shiny Stone. And also different items can be won as well if you have the National Dex. Shiny Stone! So keep that in mind. Alright. I'm going to end things off right here. This is the final episode for this series. I just want to say thanks again for watching, because it has been a blast to make. This is one of my favorite games of all time, and I did not mean to get an encounter. So I shall see you... Oh, actually, I want to hear National Park for the final time. Not the final time. I'm going to keep playing this game until the day I die. I shall see you over with the new blind playthrough. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all will have a good one. Alright, we're gonna keep dragging this episode a bit longer, because there are still a few Pokemon that I forgot to go over, and yeah, I'm so done with this. So, once you obtain the National Dex, there will be new bug types that you can encounter in the bug catching contest. So, let's get things started with Silcoon. Silcoon is not that good of a Pokemon. It's all it means is being a not really bulky, but at the same time bulky defensive wall. Its stats are very poor, and bug types are not really that good. So yeah, nothing else to say about it until you can also find its evolution here as well, being Beautifly. Beautifly is mainly a special attacker and nothing else. All of its other stats besides special attack is poor across the board. I do not recommend picking this up for a long-term party member. Just dex filler, because bug flying types, and especially early route bugs, are not that good. So there you go. Next one, still in this line, is Cascoon. Cascoon is literally just like Silcoon. Decently bulky, but not really bulky, a good physical wall, but not really good physical wall, but this one evolves into Dustox. And of course, Dustox can be found here as well. So going over Dustox, it's not a bug flying type, it's a bug poison type. Dustox is sort of the special wall of the entire line. Yeah, again, good at being a special wall, poor stats across the board everywhere else. And that is mainly about it with this line. This line sucks. I don't recommend it for a long-term playthrough. Next one is Nincada. Nincada is a good, solid physical wall, and again, poor everything else. Bug types really got the fucking short end of the stick here. They're not really that good. It's not until when it evolves into Ninjask, and if you so we'll go over Ninjask first. So Ninjask, oh boy, this thing is fast. It's got good physical attack as well, and this thing is really fast. Paired it with its unique ability, Speed Boost. Yeah, this thing is a frail glass cannon. It hits decently hard, and it will always go first. depending on which is the, like, what Pokemon you're going up against, because chances are nothing's gonna outspeed this thing, even with Speed Boost. If you have an empty slot in your party, plus a Pokeball with you, you can also get the unique Pokemon, Shedinja. Shedinja is a very weird gimmick Pokemon. This thing has a base stat of 1 HP. 1. Just 1. You might be wondering, like, wow, such a frail Pokemon. Why would I want to use this thing? Like, it doesn't look that good. Like, its stats are nothing to rave about. Let me introduce you to Wonder Guard. Wonder Guard only takes hits from super effective moves. So, therefore, this thing has lots of immunities, except for Fire, Flying, Rock, Ghost, and Dark-type moves. So this thing can be pretty good if used right and not in the worst situations. Bug Ghost is a pretty good typing, but very situational. Next one is Mr. Mustache himself, Mr. Kricketune. Kricketune! Yeah, sucks. Like, all these bug types, they suck. It mainly is there to be like a bulky physical attacker with decent speed and nothing else. Like, again, like, early route bug types are not that good. Kricketune is my favorite of the entire regional bugs, and that's a good reason. It's got a really cool looking design with his curly mustache and its iconic cry. But that is the only good points about this thing, and yeah, I am not going to go into anything else. So that's all the encounters for the National Dex encounters for the bug catching contest, but I forgot to go over the Hoenn fossils. So, you can find the root fossil in the Cliff Cave in Johto, and for SoulSilver players only, you can get Lileep. Lileep is weird. It's a very bulky wall on the special and physical side with decent special attack here and there. It's really slow, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't evolve until level 40, just like every other single fossils. This thing is incredibly weak until it gets to that point. But if you do, oh boy, you got yourself a good wall into Cradily. Cradily! Good physical wall and good special defensive wall. It's a mixed attacker as well, but it doesn't really excel at that. It's mainly there to just tank hits. Rock Grass is kind of a unique typing. That's all I could really say. There's nothing really to go on, like, it's still slow, it's decently bulky, but it mainly is there to be a wall. And for Heart Gold players still in the same area of Cliff Cave with the Claw fossil, you can get yourself Anorith. Anorith is a really good physical attacker, but poor everything else. Rock Bug is actually a surprisingly decent, like, defensive typing. It's only got, like, 3 weaknesses, if I remember correctly, but, yeah, just like other fossils out there, it doesn't evolve until level 40, but, oh boy, this is the best of the two. When fully evolved into Almaldo, this thing is a fantastic physical attacker with good defensive stats to boot. Again, fossils are really slow, and that's all there is to it. Battle Armor is a really good ability which protects it against critical hits. So it's still kind of like frail for like on special defensive side, but it can still tank hits pretty well. Yeah, if I had to pick out of the two, Almaldo is the go. It's got good physical attack, it's decently defensive, and that's really about it. Oh my god, we are done with all the encounters. I am so mentally drained from this, and it's not even funny. But we still got one more bonus episode, yes, I know. And for next time on Pokemon SoulSilver, I'm going to be going over the Gym Leader rematch teams alongside the Elite Four rematch teams and the Champions team. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all will have a good one.